So many of the verses in the New Testament, through the writings of Paul, through Peter and James and such, they speak of some of the same things that Jesus spoke of, the concepts, the principles, the ideas. The one we're going to look at today is in Philippians chapter 2, and it's verse 3. And this is a familiar verse to me. It's one that I've heard many, many times, and you've probably heard it too. And it shares basic relationship principles. It shares basic Christian living principle. It shares things that we've covered in other verses over the preceding months. That this is, when Paul is sharing this, he's saying, basically, let this same mind be in you which was in Christ that Jesus had. Let this be how you think and you do things. And actually the way that happens, and this comes from a verse in 1 John, where John says in 1 John 4:19 that we love him, or we love because he first loved us. And what that indicates and shows us is the love that we display, that we exhibit, that defines who we are, is a result of knowing God. God is love, John says in 1 John 4. And when we receive his love and know his love, we learn to love. And he says in there that if we don't love, there's one reason why. It's because we don't know him. So when we read Philippians 2 and verse 3, this is something that's realized and comes to play and happens in your life and in my life because you know and I know our Father in heaven. We know Jesus. And coming forth from that, knowing him who loves us, who is love, and what love looks like, this is actually what comes about. This is us being transformed by the renewing of our minds. We're thinking differently because we're connected to him. And this is actually our whole pursuit as followers of Jesus. Our whole endeavor is to be in this intimate, close relationship with him and to know him. Because as we do so, as we learn and we come to know him and we walk with him, talking and conversing and having an ongoing, everyday, all the time relationship, what comes forth is his very nature and character, whose image and likeness we were created in. So this is what's to be expected, but we need to be connected to him. So Philippians 2:3 says, let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit. So he's speaking that we should not be operating and acting out of selfishness, self-seeking, self-concern, trying to get what I think is mine. James tells us that just leads to fights and confusion and evil things because it's based upon me trying to get what I want, and that's always going to be at the expense of others. So in Philippians, Paul says, let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but, and this is how it works, this is what he says that we're to do, in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. So the focus shifts from me and myself personally to how I can impact and affect and influence others for their benefit and for their good. If I seek to get what I think is mine and what's best for me, I'm going to do this at the expense of others and their value. When he says to esteem others, is to regard them, to look upon them and see their value, not just mine, but theirs. And in fact, he says to let esteem them better, which means put other people before yourself. Elsewhere we can find that God says, I'll take care of you. You don't need to worry about you. I've got you covered. I've got you. And as we dwell in him, as we develop in this relationship with him, that is affirmed and confirmed, and we are secure in that. If I'm not secure, I'm going to try to seek and do things to get what I want. And that means, and when that's what is the predominant thing, I just need to pursue him, be in this fellowship and this intimacy with him. that He, who He is, and His character and His nature, will overflow me, and I'm changed from the inside out. Esteem others. Don't esteem yourself better than others, but rather esteem others better than yourself.